at all times. Now, if you look above your head, there is an animal spotting guide up there. We'll do our best to find as many of those animals as we can. We normally have some pretty decent luck. And just a reminder, we will be guessing these animals' homes, so refrain from making any loud noises, animal noises, calling out to them, or whistling. So don't actually scare them away, and we want them to be as comfortable as possible in their own homes. Now, we are getting our journey started here together in the Little Aturi Forest. Now, the animals out here in the forest rely on their natural colors to help blend into their background, so keep a sharp eye out as they could be just about anywhere. Now, over on that right-hand side there, that is the okapi. Now, okapis are generally very shy and reclusive in nature. They're not too territorial though, and you'll often find them hidden deep within the forest. Female okapis are generally slightly taller than their male counterparts. And although they kind of resemble zebras with all those leg stripes, they're the closest known relatives to giraffes. On the left-hand side here, this is the saddle-billed stork. Now, it gets its name from that yellow saddle shape on its beak. That one there had yellow eyes, which indicates that that was a female, as all girls will have those yellow eyes, while male saddle-billed storks will have brown eyes. They have an average wingspan of about 9 feet, which is about the width of the canopy above your head. Saddle-billed storks are solitary birds, but if they find a partner, then they are partners for life. These copper-colored antelopes here, these are my personal favorite animals, the bongos. Now, bongos are often referred to as the ghosts of the forest, as they are very rarely seen. And all the way in the back there is the black rhino. Now, black rhinos can reach up to about 3,000 pounds, and they can hit speeds of about 35 miles per hour. Now, they are solitary rhinos, so they'll spend the majority of their life living just by themselves. But unfortunately, there's less than 5,000 left in the world, as they are hunted for those horns of theirs. Now, here on the right-hand side, these are the cousins to the bongos, the greater kudus. Now, they are some of the tallest antelopes in the world, standing at about 55 inches just at the shoulder. Now, those are female greater kudus, as only the males will carry horns, and the horns on the males can reach up to about 6 feet long. Now, both the bongos and greater kudus have those white stripes on their midsection. Those act as their main form of camouflage, as when they're hiding out in the trees, those stripes resemble the sun's rays peeking through. And we are making our way out of the forest here and are headed towards the Salfi River. Now, the river is home to more aquatic animals, so keep an eye out in the water. Look for any shadows or bubbles, as those could be some good signs of some animals. Now, getting fed by those humans there are some Nile hippos. And up ahead, all these birds you see on the island, these are the pink-backed pelicans. They get their name as they'll turn a pinkish color during their mating season. It's actually their skin that changes colors and not their feathers, just like us humans blushing. And they are colonial nesters, and they'll be anywhere from about 20 pairs to 500 pairs of birds. And a group of those pelicans is called a pod. On the left-hand side, those are some more Nile hippos. And a group of hippos is called a bloat.
They're sleeping under there.
Now, although hippos can swim, they are so heavy that they just sink down to the bottom and they'll run along the bottom of the water. And hippos, they can hold their breath for about 6 to 8 minutes at a time, and their body naturally raises them to the surface to get that breath of fresh air. Now, hippos, they all have eyes and ears on the top of their head, and that allows them to be completely submerged in the water, but still keep an eye and ear out on the surface and what's happening above them. Now, an adult male hippo can reach up to about 5,500 pounds. But for their size, they do eat a fairly small amount. Roughly just about 80 to 90 pounds of vegetation daily. And that's about the size of a newborn baby hippo. as hippos at birth weigh about 85 pounds.
I pulled up a little too far at unload one. Permission to back up.
And we are just going to be paused here momentarily as there are some animals up ahead just blocking the path of the road. So hopefully it won't be too long. Now this tree here that we're approaching, this is the baobab tree. Now these trees will go leafless about 9 months out of the year. And they often get the nickname the upside down tree. Since their branches have no leaves, it kind of looks like their roots stick up in the air. Now another common name for these trees is the tree of life. They get the name the tree of life as they can store thousands of gallons of water in their trunks at a time, storing up to about 30,000 gallons. We are making our way here into the largest part of the reserve, the savanna. And the savanna is home to Africa's much more popular and iconic wildlife. Like the Maasai giraffe hiding in the trees up ahead. Now giraffes, they are the tallest animals in the world, standing at about 18 to 20 feet tall. And just like our fingerprints, no two spot patterns will ever be the same, and they are unique to each and every giraffe. Now, it is a much more open environment out here on the savanna. Animals do work together to keep it that way. So elephants will come by and they'll bulldoze all the trees. The giraffes will prune the trees and keep them nice and tidy on the top. And all the antelope out here will work together as the natural lawnmowers, and they'll eat all the grasses. And since it is so much more open, animals can't really rely on their camouflaging out here. They instead have to rely more on their speed and agility out here for their survival. And laying down on this left-hand side, right on the left here, and a few behind the smaller tree there, those are the African wild dogs. They are also known as the painted dogs. And their coat patterns are so unique that they can actually identify one another from 2 miles away from one another. But don't let their cuteness fool you. They are the most successful predator, with a success rate of 90%. To put that into perspective, lions have a success rate of 30%. The reason they are so successful is because they will take turns outrunning their prey. So when one gets tired, a new one will come by and take their place. Now hiding out behind those bushes there, those ones laying down, those are the sable antelopes. Now, sable antelopes, they are the official emblem here of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And a little further more left, those tanner colored antelopes, those are the elands kind of behind us. Now elands do stand at about 6 feet tall, but they have the ability to jump about 8 feet straight up into the air from a standing position. Elands are known for their spiral twisted horns. And during mating season, the boys will cover those horns in a bunch of flowers and grass to make themselves appear more attractive for the ladies. Now those sable antelopes, they are a dominant male-led group, but it's actually the dominant female who will lead them in their movements and make a bunch of their decisions. And they have those horns which they use to show their dominance in both fighting and sparring, as well as love and courtship. It does look like we are approaching another Maasai giraffe here. It's hiding out in the trees here. Now, giraffes will only sleep about 30 minutes a day. That's not one 30-minute nap that they'll take. It's a bunch of small little naps scattered throughout the day, and often so standing up, as laying down makes them much more vulnerable to predators. Their tongues are a bluish purple in color. That helps prevent any sunburn. So they spend the majority of their day awake and eating. Up ahead here, these are the wildebeest. Now, wildebeest is Afrikaans, meaning wild beast. And over 1.5 million of them will migrate across Africa every single year. You can actually track a wildebeest migration pattern all the way from space due to the amount of dirt that they'll kick up as they migrate. And a group of wildebeest is called a confusion. That's because they'll run in all different directions in order to confuse any predator. On this right-hand side, those little antelopes over there, those are the springbok. Now, springbok are small, only standing at about 3 feet tall. But what they lack in height, they make up for in speed. So they're one of the top 10 fastest animals in the world. And they can hit speeds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. They get their name springbok, which means springing buck, as they can spring about 6 feet up into the air and about 13 feet going forward. And when they do that, it is called pronking. Now on this left-hand side here in the middle of those trees, that is the mandrill monkey. Now mandrills, they are the largest monkey species, with the adult males reaching up to about 100 pounds. And that is the male right there. Females will only be about 60 to 70 pounds. Now, mandrills are known for their red and blue facial markings. And a pretty famous mandrill would be Rafiki from The Lion King. Now, mandrills do have extra little storage pouches in their cheeks, and those act as their natural Tupperware, as mandrills will often store some food in those pouches to snack on throughout the day. We are making our way here through some red clay pits. Now, these are a great source of minerals for the animals out here. You'll often see the elephants come by and dig their tusks in to extract the minerals, as it works like you and I taking a daily vitamin. Now, there are some tusk marks there on the right-hand side, which could mean there might be some elephants up ahead. It does look like there are some. Now, elephants, they are a matriarchal society, so it is the females who run the show. Now, the boys will kick themselves out of the herd as they mature, which happens around age 15. Now, those boys will go on to live alone, or they'll form small little bachelor herds of about 2 to 3 other male elephants. Now, these are the African elephants, and you can tell as their ears are shaped like the continent of Africa. Now, their ears are also filled with blood vessels, so by just flapping their ears, elephants can actually cool themselves off up to about 15 degrees. So it's like they have their own little cooling system built right in. Their trunks can reach up to about 6 feet long, and they have more muscles in their trunks than we do in our entire body. And you'll often find them using their trunks to fling dirt, mud, and sand up onto their back. That'll act as a natural sunscreen for them, as elephants have incredibly sensitive skin. Now up ahead here, these are the greater flamingos. Now, they are the lightest in color and largest of all flamingo species. They get their pink coloration from the beta-carotene that's found in their diet of mainly brine shrimp. It does take about 2 to 3 years for that pink to develop, so any gray and white ones you're seeing are the younger ones of the group. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance, and this flamboyance happens to live on a very familiar shaped island, as the island is shaped like Mr. Mickey Mouse himself. Now if you're looking for those brighter pink flamingos, those would be the lesser flamingos. You can find them in the front of the park, on the left side of the Tree of Life. You are looking at the tree from the park entrance. We have just crossed over to the eastern side of the reserve, which is home to the white rhinos. The white rhinos do get a bit bigger than the black rhino that we saw earlier, as they can reach up to 5,000 pounds. That giant mud pit behind them there, that is the mud wallow that they created. And if you look along the bottom of the trees and along the rocks there, they are covered in the mud. As the rhinos will come by and they'll take a nice mud bath, and then they'll brush their horns up against the trees and the rocks. Their horns are made up of keratin, just like our fingernails. So by brushing their horns up against them, they are filing down their horns like we would our fingernails. Now, unlike the black rhinos, white rhinos do like to hang out in groups, and a group of rhinos is called a crash. Now that's a fairly accurate name, as they have terrible eyesight, can only see about 10 feet in front of them, and can reach speeds of 35 miles per hour. So if you put that all together, you might end up with a crash. Now this is larger cat territory here, and there is a cheetah roaming around the back there. Now they are the fastest land mammals in the world, reaching about 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. But they can't hold their speed for too long though, roughly just a few hundred yards. They have incredibly muscular tails, which act kind of like rudders on a boat, and it helps them change directions as well as keep their balance as they run. Cheetahs also have black tear marks that run underneath their eyes. Those act as their natural sunglasses, as cheetahs are the only big cats to do their hunting during the daytime. And a group of cheetahs is called a coalition. Now this giant rock formation here, this is a kopie, which are home to some pretty large cats like the lion right there. We all must be fully seated, guys, fully seated. Now he is a bit of a movie star, as he was actually the model for Simba in the remake of The Lion King just a few years back. And it does look like the females are just above him there. Now in a lion pride, it is the females who will go out into the hunting, while the males will stay back, guard the territory, and any cubs. The reason the females will go out into the hunting is they weigh significantly less, as the mane that the male carries can weigh up to 40 pounds. And when a lion roars at its full power, you can hear that roar from about 5 miles away. So I'll take you all the way over to Epcot. Lions do have pretty comparable daytime vision to ours, but their nighttime vision is about 6 times more powerful. And they are much more active during the nighttime, as they typically rest about 16 to 20 hours every single day. There is another white rhino over there along with one of the babies. And over here are the ostriches. Now ostriches, although they have wings, they cannot fly. They instead use their wings to help them change directions as they run. They can reach speeds of about 40 miles per hour. Those are females there, as they have a lighter gray feather, while males will have a dark gray, almost black feather. Ostriches do lay some pretty giant eggs, which are right there on the right-hand side. Now, ostrich eggs are incredibly strong, and a grown adult can actually stand on one and not even crack it. And about one of those eggs is equivalent to 2 dozen chicken eggs. And they'll both weigh roughly about 3 to 4 pounds. Now our final stop here is the Warden's Post. Warden protects all the animals out here. And right now it looks like there's a few Nigerian dwarf goats hanging out up front here. Now they are small, but they're fully grown. This is as big as they will get. They're incredibly playful, friendly, and social animals. And their playing actually helps them in their maturity. Now they do have a tremendous sense of balance, so you'll often find them climbing up on the roof and onto the truck there. They're also dairy goats, and their milk is known to be very, very sweet. Now we did just find a bunch of really cool animals, and they do need our help. That can be just as simple as reducing, reusing, and recycling. So getting those reusable water bottles, straws, and even silverware, it's only a great way to start reducing all that plastic waste. And making sure we recycle as much paper as we can, so we can help out those animals out in the forest who rely on trees for their survival. Remember, when we all do a little, together we do a lot. So go out there, make those differences, spread your knowledge, and together we can help out all those animals. Now, if there are any wilderness explorers on board, you have been riding on the Simba 1. Now that is Simba like the lion and the number 1. Now if you're looking for some other opportunities to see some animals out there, I do recommend checking out the walking trails within the park. So right across the exit of the attraction will be the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. And if you make your way over to Asia, there they have the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is home to some Asian animals. But here in Harambe, we do not like to say goodbye, as goodbyes are far too sad and far too final. Instead, we say Kwaherini, which means to go well. So go well, my friends, go wild, go make a difference out there, and enjoy the rest of your time here in Disney's Animal Kingdom.